Either you do what Derek says, or you can pack up and go. Rachel's voice cracks like a judge's gavel. No tremble, no apology, just verdict. Her arms are crossed, a stance I remember from third-grade spelling bees. Back then it meant sound it out. Now it means exile. I stand in the archway with my purse on one shoulder and groceries dangling from the other, paper bags buckling in slow motion. One orange slips out, hits the tile, rolls toward Derek's foot. He doesn't move. My recliner creaks under his weight, legs spread like a lawn king, beer sweating on the armrest. My favorite quilt, the one I pieced through chemo, is balled behind his neck. "Babe, did you tell her about the budget?" he calls to Rachel, grinning without teeth. She's been spending like she owns the place, because I do. A flash of light outside, lightning, fast and silent. Then thunder lands on the roof like a dropped safe. Derek's phone is on speaker. A voice, neighbor Janice, saccharine and smug, says, "So you think she'll go quiet?" He winks at the screen. "Mom's slipping fast. House'll be ours by fall." I place the bags down, quietly, deliberately. Bread now soaked from the leaking milk carton. My hands shake, not from rage, but restraint. I touch the edge of my coat pocket where the deed is folded, creased, but legal. Paid off with 40 years of branch manager hours, skipped vacations, second-hand blouses. Rachel won't meet my eyes. "You're making this hard," she says, voice softer now. "We just need things to be manageable." Manageable. She means Derek's car payments. She means the kids' camp deposit, the solar panels they ordered last month without asking. I pat the bags once, like tucking them in for the night. Then I walk down the hall, past the wedding photo I paid for, the thermostat I programmed, the baby monitor still mounted on the wall, like they expect me to forget to breathe. Their voices fade as I reach the guest room. She'll cave by morning. We'll change the locks. I already scheduled the appraiser. In the mirror over the dresser, my reflection catches. My eyes are sharp, mouth set. I look older than I feel and stronger than they think. I unzip the suitcase from under the bed and start to pack. Packing feels surgical, not sentimental. No wasted motion, no folded sweaters or framed memories. Just the essentials. Passport, deed, bank ledgers tucked in a manila envelope marked utilities in Rachel's handwriting. Ironic. The .38 snub nose rests inside a hollow dictionary wedged between family and fraud. I cradle it in my palm. Cold. Heavier than I remember. I've never fired it. Never even loaded it. Until now. 1 magazine. 5 bullets. I take one and slide it in slow, thumb firm, like closing a bank vault. Safety on. Weapon holstered deep in my purse beside a roll of peppermints and a spare pair of readers. Let them underestimate the old woman with the candy bag. From the kitchen, they whisper. A movie plays loud on the TV, something with explosions and screams. But I still hear Derek say, "We'll have to get her declared before she moves money. Friday's the window." My phone buzzes, a voicemail from Dr. Leary. The name sounds familiar, then clicks. He's the one who supposedly signed the APS report, claiming I show signs of self-neglect. I press play, but let it run to voicemail. Let him lie to the machine instead of me. I breathe out through my nose. Steady now. Zippers close with finality. A sweater, toothbrush, thumb drive. The old banker's ledger I've kept since 1989. Each page handwritten, numbers sharp. Because someday, someone might ask who really paid the mortgage. I slip into the hallway, my shadow barely audible over the TV. Derek's phone charger glows red in the socket, an off-brand cube with a USB-C port. Inside my purse, I find the voice-activated recorder, thumb-sized, black. The light blinks once as I switch it on. I slide it into Derek's charger, tucking the wire just right, seamless. Looks like clutter. Something clicks inside me. Not a snap, not a break. A switch. From caretaker to combatant. From passive to planning. The difference is subtle, but permanent. I've been underestimated before. Let them think I'm soft. frail, confused. That's how I win. I slip out the back door without a sound. Rain hammers the roof like a warning. Hard, rhythmic, relentless. The motel's neon sign outside flickers. Vacancy, stuttering in red like it's nervous to be seen. My room smells of bleach and old air. Carpet damp near the AC. The kind of place where people go to disappear or reappear differently. I sit on the edge of the bed, gray comforter stiff as cardboard, and spread my financials on the desk under a brass lamp with a dusty pull chain. $78,640. That's the tally. I write it down in my ledger, careful script. A sum of my silence. I propped up Rachel and Derek's mortgage for the past 6 years. My Social Security wired to their joint account with the lie that, "We're just holding it, Mom." Tuition for a grandson I rarely see. A wedding they couldn't afford. Down payment on a solar system they didn't need. Every transfer came with a thank you hug and a whispered promise to pay it back. The ledger doesn't lie. It just bleeds black ink. A text blinks on my burner phone. "Rachel, you, okay?" 3 words. As if she didn't just exile her mother. As if okay is something I owe her. I let the text rot unread. Let it ferment. The rain gets louder. It pounds the metal roof like a fist on a door. Not asking. Demanding. My breath clouds the motel mirror as I rise. My face is worn but alert. Eyes sharp. The kind of face men use to glance past in banks. Assuming I was the teller, not the one who trained the branch manager. I watch the drops race each other down the glass, one overtaking the other. No fairness in rain, just momentum. I check my purse again. Deed. Recorder. Thumb drive. .38. 1 round chambered. Not for use. Just wait. Just promise. I flick through the forged APS report on my tablet. Words like decline, incoherent, and unsafe conditions stacked like poker chips in a bad hand. The signature is digital. The date is last Tuesday. But the language? That's Derek. Progressive forgetfulness, mismanaging prescriptions. He's been whispering poison into ears I didn't know were listening. A storm gust slams the motel door in its frame. I jump, just once, and then I sit back down. I leave the tablet charging by the Bible drawer and wheel the motel chair to the Formica desk. There's a notepad, a phone book, and a laminated map of nearby attractions no one ever visits. I set my laptop down and plug into the motel Wi-Fi, unsecured, naturally. One more vulnerability in a world full of them. Derek's cloud account opens without resistance. Password, Rachel's birthday, no caps, no symbols. Amateur hour. The folders are labeled with bland efficiency. House, health, tax. Mom. I click Mom. Inside, PDFs, scanned forms, clipped audio, 1 video. The most recent file catches my eye, County Adult Protective Services Report. I zoom in on the header. It's official, county seal and all. But the text? Margaret J. Thompson exhibits signs of diminished capacity, self-neglect, and disorientation. Medication mismanagement observed by cohabitant. Evans, Derek. The timestamp, 2 days ago. Only one problem. 2 days ago, I was managing my own pill box, paying bills, and ironing Rachel's interview blazer because she claimed her wrists hurt. I scrolled to the signature line. Drive. Leary. The same caller who hit voicemail earlier. But the digital signature? It doesn't match the font on the letterhead. Sloppy overlay. My gut confirms what my banker's eye sees. It's fake. I search the metadata. Modified yesterday. By Evans D001. He didn't even scrub the author field. God, they never think old women check metadata. My pulse ticks up. Not panic, but precision. Next folder. House. Mortgage documents. Scanned appraisals. And then something that kicks the air from my lungs. APDF e-signed equity loan packet. $50,000. Secured by my house. Effective tomorrow at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I open the document again and again, hoping I've misread it. I haven't. Rachel's email address is CCD. So is Derek's. Mine is listed, but it's the old account I abandoned 3 years ago when Rachel helped me set up a Gmail, one that she has access to. The routing number for the disbursement matches their joint account, not mine. The equity was supposed to be my cushion, my end-of-life dignity. They're stripping it clean before breakfast, and they're using my name to do it. Back in the mom folder, I find a video, 32 seconds long. I click play. Grainy phone footage of me walking into the pantry, standing for a beat too long, turning once, then walking out empty-handed. No sound, no context, just long enough to imply I forgot why I went in. Rachel's voice, off camera. See? Happens all the time. It's a setup. Carefully planted half-truths, edited moments, forged documents. They've been building a case against me while I was cooking Sunday dinner and triple-checking thermostats. And the worst part? No one questioned it. Because I'm 68 and female, and occasionally repeat myself when I'm tired. I take the USB drive from my purse and copy everything. Forged APS report, loan documents, the video. I zip them into a folder labeled Leverage. A pop-up appears. Derek's calendar invite. Notary appointment, home equity sign-off. Location, the house. Time, 9 a.m. tomorrow. This is no sloppy play. It's orchestrated. Timed. Down to the minute. Thunder rattles the motel windows. I barely hear it. My hand finds the .38 in my purse, not to hold it, just to know it's still there. I click the safety off, then on again. It's not for them. It's for me. A steel spine in leather form. Insurance against what comes next. I lean back in the chair. Think. This isn't a financial mistake or even simple greed. This is theft. Premeditated. And if I don't move faster than them, they'll use the forged APS report to lock me down legally. Then, the house is theirs, my accounts, my records, me. I tap open a blank file and start a list. Betty, retired county clerk, still owes me one. Conservatorship process, need to research loopholes, credit freeze, implement immediately. Recorder's office, monitor equity transaction timestamp. The list calms me, gives me shape. The digital clock ticks over to 4:23 a.m. I have less than 29 hours before I vanish on paper. That's how long until Derek and Rachel erase me. I don't panic, I plan. At 5 a.m. I was already at Chuck's 24-hour diner. The coffee at Chuck's tastes like scorched ambition and yesterday's grounds. Perfect. I slide into the corner booth, same one I used to sit in after late shifts at the branch. Back then, it was pie and payroll talk. Now it's strategy. Betty Lancaster arrives right on time, trench coat soggy at the hem, cheeks flushed from wind. She used to be the county clerk, knew every judge, notary, and birth certificate in a 100-mile radius. Retired now, but sharp as ever. She drops into the booth and tosses her purse beside her like it's a dead animal. "You've looked better," she says, eyeing me over her glasses. "I felt worse," I say, sipping. "Appreciate you coming." "Didn't come for the ambiance," she mutters, pulling a manila envelope from her coat. Her eyes narrow. "What's Derek done?" I don't answer. I just open the folder, slide out the APS report, and let her read it in full silence. Her lips twist halfway through. Christ. Look at the signature. Leary? Fictional. Digital overlay. File was edited on Derek's laptop at 1:22 p.m. yesterday. She exhales through her nose. Why? He wants my house. My accounts. My name on a loan he forged. Rachel's in on it. Betty lets that hang in the air for a beat. A plate clatters behind us. Short order cook in rhythm. Grease and regret sizzle. "They filed anything?" she finally asks. I nod. Found a notary appointment on his cloud calendar. Equity loan signs at 9 tomorrow. Betty digs in her purse again, this time pulling out a folded tricolor brochure, Department of Family Services, Guardianship Division. He came into records yesterday, she says. Asked how fast a conservatorship could be stamped for someone leaving the stove on. I blink. And? If no one objects, she says, 3 days. The air in the diner thickens. Not with smoke, just pressure. He left this, she adds, sliding a blank conservatorship petition across the formica. I kept a few extras. I take the papers like she's handed me a revolver. Every line blank. waiting for accusation, guardianship over assets, over decisions, over body. Rachel and Derek mean to erase me in 3 days and take everything with my name on it. I fold the forms and slide them into my purse, crisp against the thumb drive. They'll need a psych eval, I say. Yup. Court date? Depends on the docket, but you could be before Judge Parker by Friday if they expedite it. He's not one to sniff details if the signatures line up. I tap the table twice. Clockwork thinking. Betty, I ask, lowering my voice, do you still have access to the filing schedule? She grins. You want to see who submitted what this week? No, I say. I want to know who's about to. She nods once. Check your inbox in 2 hours. I pull out a 20, but she waves it off. I still remember when you waived my overdraft fee. My grandson got a backpack that year. I give her a small nod. It's not gratitude, it's understanding. Betty slides out of the booth and leaves without another word. I stir my coffee slowly. Once, twice. The spoon ticks like a metronome. 3 days. That's how long they think it takes to put a leash on an old woman. They have no idea what I can do in one. The fluorescent light buzzes like a fly trapped in a jar. Harsh, unforgiving, just how I need it. I stand in front of the mirror, wet washcloth draped across my neck. Eyes swollen from rain, not tears. I haven't cried yet, don't plan to. Crying wastes hydration. The woman staring back has lines deeper than memory and a mouth set like a closed vault. She doesn't look fragile, she looks ready. I reach for my phone. The burner, not the one Derek can track. I punch in a number from memory, the kind I haven't dialed in a decade but always knew I might again. It rings once, twice, then a voice, gravelly, rushed. Tom Delgado. Still working fraud cases? I ask. Silence. Then, Maggie, need your eyes on a $50,000 equity loan. Forged signature, routed through First Cap Union. Someone used my old email to make it stick. Jesus, who? My son-in-law. Another beat. Then Tom clears his throat. Still mad about the overdraft fee? You still owe me. He chuckles. Send me what you've got. I'll start the trace. But this won't be clean. Good, I say. Neither am I. I hang up and switch over to a new call. Local number. Psychiatry office. Geriatric eval specialist. The receptionist answers on the third ring, chipper despite the hour. Dr. Patel's office. How may I help? I interrupt. I need a full psych evaluation. Today, if possible. I'm 68, legally competent, and being targeted for forced guardianship. I want the results admissible in court. A pause. Then a change in tone. Do you have a referral? No, I say. I have a threat. They schedule me for Friday, 8:15 a.m. It overlaps the court petition window. Perfect. I want records. I want timestamps. The phone buzzes again. Caller ID, Dr. Leary. The forged report's phantom author. I let it go to voicemail. The man can talk to silence. Maybe he'll incriminate himself. Maybe not. Either way, I'll have the recording. Outside the window, rain slows to a drizzle. The neon sign still flickers, less frantic now, more resigned. Vacancy. V-A-C-A-N-C-Y. Vague. I blot my face with a towel, smooth my hair, reapply lipstick with a banker's hand. Steady, economical, precise. This is war, but not the loud kind. Not bullets and sirens. Paperwork, ledgers, timed filings, credit freezes. I once audited a city council budget and found $12,000 in miscellaneous travel. You don't forget how to hunt, you just wait for better prey. I zip my suitcase and slide the folders into my tote. Rachel thinks I'm crumbling. Derek thinks I'm slow. Let them think that. When predators stop watching, the prey has room to move. I sit cross-legged on the stiff motel bed, one bar of Wi-Fi flickering like it's nervous. The rain has stopped. What's left is fog and the electric buzz of things about to break. Time to sever the lifelines. First, autopay. I log into the joint utility portal. Water, electric, internet. all scheduled through my bank account. Rachel's signature on nothing. I click cancel on each. Click again when it asks, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Next, reroute the bills. I swap the address to their house, the house they're trying to steal. Let them explain the unpaid power bill when it lands in Derek's lap like a subpoena. Then, joint credit lines. We only opened them because Rachel insisted she needed, quote, emergency access. Emergencies turned into Airbnbs and Derek's drone hobby. I log in, verify identity with a security question no one's bothered to change. What was the name of your first dog? Muffin. Still dead, still loyal. I select freeze account. The screen stalls, then confirms. Frozen. Just like the tone I'll use when they realize what I've done. Next target. The household checking account. They don't know I opened a separate one last month, just for a sense of control. It only took $50 to start. I remember the teller's face when I told her not to mention it if Rachel asked. Sometimes independence is the real deposit, I'd said. Now I drain the joint account. Everything I've put in over the years, into cashier's checks. One addressed to the firm handling the Veterans Housing Initiative in Montana. The other, a blank payee, kept in my ledger under a paperclip. The bank confirms. Transaction complete. Digital timers appear across my dashboard. Changes effective in 24 hours. That's their fuse. The last 24 hours they'll spend believing they've won. It's a strange comfort how fast systems can obey you when you've mastered them. I print confirmations from the motel's lobby printer, its gears groaning like they resent the urgency. The pages come out warm, smelling of toner and scorched plastic. Tangible proof that control still belongs to me. Then I check the recorder's office portal again. The equity loan is still marked, quote, pending. That window closes at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I leave a browser tab open, time-stamped for court. My phone pings. Betty. Petition filed 10 minutes ago. Conservatorship. Emergency flag. Friday, 9 a.m. Judge Parker. Exactly on schedule. They think they're setting the pace. Bless them. I pull my ledger back onto the bed and update it. New line. Friday, 8:15 a.m. Psych eval. Admissible evidence. Friday, 9 a.m. Court duel begins. Let Derek and Rachel bring their forged reports and crocodile tears. I'll bring facts, and timing, and 37 years of experience knowing when someone's cooking the books. I lean back against the headboard. My hand finds the purse strap again, thumb grazing the outline of the .38, not to use, just to remember who I am. At noon, I step into the hallway for air. It's stale, disinfected, and barely a degree warmer than outside. The motel carpet smells of bleach and despair. Room doors all shut, curtains drawn, each hiding someone who ran out of road. I don't plan to stay long. Just as I reach for the vending machine, pretzels, something to chew while I wait for Betty's next message, a man rounds the corner. Late 40s, neat beard, gray sport coat with courthouse stink still clinging to the seams. Margaret Thompson? He already knows it's me. I don't blink. Yes. He hands over a manila envelope, sealed and legal weighted. You've been served. Emergency petition for guardianship. Please sign for receipt. He extends a clipboard. I scan the form. There's my full name. The court docket number. Filed this morning, just like Betty said. Grounds for guardianship. Progressive cognitive decline demonstrated by recent erratic behavior, including financial mismanagement, unsafe living conditions, and disorientation. Petitioner, Derek Allen Evans. My hand doesn't shake as I sign. Margaret J. Thompson. Fully competent. Court dates Friday, 9 a.m., the man says. Family Law, Division B, Judge Parker presiding. Thank you, I reply, and I mean it. I appreciate punctual opponents. Make strategy easier. He nods and walks off, shoes quiet against carpet, like he wants to disappear too. I return to my room, latch the deadbolt, and toss the envelope onto the bed. It lands beside the .38, still zipped up in my purse like a well-behaved secret. They're going for the full kill shot now. No more slow poisoning. No more nudges toward assisted living. This is legal euthanasia. with paperwork. Friday, 9 a.m., the same hour I've scheduled my psych evaluation. That's not coincidence. Derek means to declare me incompetent before I can prove otherwise. Force a ruling before my records can testify. I open the motel desk drawer, pull out the motel notepad, and write in bold pen, "Dual set." I underline it twice. Then I dial "Shoo." She answers on the first ring. "Still on for 6? "Yes," I say, "but we'll need to double the filings. The guardianship petition just landed." She doesn't curse. That's why I hired her. "Bring the paperwork. We'll be ready." I hang up. Then I open my email and forward the petition to Tom Delgado. Subject line, "New ammo, dig in." I pace once, twice, then stop. I don't panic. I plan. By 1 o'clock, I'm at the public library. Not by car. I took the motel shuttle to the grocery store across the street and walked the rest of the way. No camera trails. No witnesses who'd call Rachel and say, "Saw your mom at the lawyer's." The library smells like sun-dried glue and printer toner, the way sanctuaries should. It's near empty. Just me and a high schooler half asleep in the YA section. Perfect. I take the corner computer, far from the desk, and log in with a visitor code. The terminal hums to life. First task, statutes. I pull up the state code on guardianship fraud, adult protective proceedings, and contestation windows. I cross-reference each with my notes, highlighting every phrase that matters. Knowingly submitting false documentation, intent to gain financially from fraudulent conservatorship filings. Derek's entire plot reads like a checklist. Next, I draft a counterpetition, 2 copies, one for court, one for my attorney. I don't use flowery language, I keep it surgical. Bullet points, dates, file names. I list the forged APS report, include metadata timestamps, describe the equity loan filed using a defunct email. I attach the motion for a 30-day eviction notice, because legally, I still own that house. While the printer groans and stutters, I move on to the recorder's office portal. The same equity loan from last night is still listed as pending. I refresh, still pending. I take a screenshot, add it to the drive. Then I pull out my USB recorder and plug it into the library port. Files copy onto the hard drive. Derek's muttered brags, Rachel's soft complicity, that one moment where he says, "She won't even know we signed her name until it's over." Let a judge hear that with the gavel in hand. The printer kicks back into gear. Warm pages glide into the tray, releasing a breath of plastic and ink. I inhale it like ritual. When you've spent your life in banks, the scent of a printer working hard is the smell of power. I file each document into a tabbed folder labeled Court, then open a second one, Eviction. I print out the deed again just in case. My name is the only one on it. Always has been. Rachel insisted on keeping it that way, for tax reasons. I told her it was for leverage. She didn't know I meant mine. Clock reads 1:47 p.m. I still have just under 20 hours before that loan locks in. Before guardianship filings harden into bars, I run a final check on my email. Betty's follow-up came through, filed, hearing docketed, 11th in line, should be called at exactly 9 o'clock. Judge Parker tends to rule on petition hearings in under 10 minutes. Good, let him try. I upload everything, counterpetition, audio files, notarized deed, screenshots, to a cloud backup under a nondescript label. Recipe Backups 2009. No one will look there. Then I log out. As I pack the folders into my canvas tote, I take a last look around the library. A storm still simmers outside. Low clouds, bruised sky. Thunder murmurs far off, like a judge thinking. There's a clock on the wall above the history shelves. Its second hand ticks slow and loud. Time is moving, but I'm finally ahead of it. I shoulder the bag and walk out into the gray afternoon, steps light, folders heavy. Tomorrow morning, Derek and Rachel expect a woman too scattered to dress herself, too frail to speak in court. They're going to meet someone else. The police station smells like burnt coffee and resignation. The front desk clerk waves me back with a nod. Detective Morrison's expecting me. He's the kind of man who keeps a toothpick in his mouth and a file under his arm, not talkative, which suits me fine. "Got your message," he says as I settle into the visitor chair across from his desk. He slaps a folder onto the surface between us. Pulled everything Derek Evans is dumb enough to leave behind. I open it. First sheet, betting receipts. Sportsbook apps, mostly offshore, masked through crypto wallets. Each one tracing back to Derek's personal checking account. A red underline appears under a $5,000 transaction labeled Fate App Sports NFL Week 3. Next page. Credit card cash advances. 3 of them. All $5,000 apiece. Withdrawn within 5 days last month. He funneled the advances into digital wallets, then moved them to Fate Sports, a betting platform with a reputation for laundering money and ruining marriages. My breath is steady. My hands are still. House is collateral, Morrison says. We traced one loan back to a bet slip on the Falcons. He lost by 20 points. Idiot, I mutter. He nods, satisfied. Gambling's an easy hook for a judge to grab when deciding motive. Can we subpoena the app? Already in motion. Should have something solid by dawn. I close the file, slowly. The weight of it hums in my hand. Thank you, detective. He shrugs like he didn't just hand me a loaded weapon. Just make it count. I leave through the side entrance, avoiding the main lobby. There's a back hallway that smells of mildew and gun oil. My car is parked where the cameras can't see me come or go. Next stop, Tom Delgado's downtown office. His building used to be a hardware store. Now it's software audits and fraud recovery. Tom meets me at the side door, sleeves rolled, hair slicked like a man who's finally remembered his job matters. He pulls me into the back office and swings his monitor toward me. So here's the money trail. Derek used your old email to trigger a DocuSign session. The metadata proves it originated from his home IP. He pulls up the log, a list of logins, timestamps, and the IP address circled in red. Used it to sign the equity loan packet? Correct. Your name, forged signature, spoofed authentication, all from a Chromebook in his living room. I exhale through my nose. So they falsified digital consent. Tom nods. And here's the kicker. He clicks into a bank transaction. The disbursement isn't set to hit until 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, which means if we file a fraud claim and freeze the transaction before then, they get nothing. I lean in. And if I don't, you'll be legally bankrupt by brunch. He slides a form across the table. File this with your bank fraud division tonight. I'll submit the supporting forensic report. Your lawyer can bundle the equity hold request with the TRO motion. I sign without hesitation. The pen clicks shut like a trigger. Tom hands me a flash drive. All your ammo, digital and time-stamped. Appreciate the speed. You scare me a little, he says. I smile. That's the idea. Outside, the sky's gone from gray to gunmetal. Rain holds off, but the wind whips hard enough to make the street signs rattle. I tuck the flash drive into the same pocket as the .38. Both are evidence, in their way. Inside my car, I pull out my planner. Paper, not digital. I write, fraud report filed. Timestamp, 2:47 p.m. Evidence ready for H-Sue. 6 p.m. Final strike. Friday morning. I click my pen once more and close the planner. They wanted to use my age as leverage, but they forgot something crucial. I've lived long enough to know where people hide their guilt. By 4 o'clock, I'm back at the motel. I don't return to my room. Instead, I follow the clerk's directions around the corner to a locked utility door marked maintenance/office use only. I knock twice. The door opens a crack. Jerry, the night manager with a ZZ-top beard and nicotine fingers, leans out. He eyes me warily. Still having Wi-Fi issues? Not today, I say, holding up a 20 and a polite smile. I need to check the security footage from last night. My car was rummaged. Not reporting anything. I just want eyes on it. He hesitates, then shrugs. 10 minutes. Don't touch anything. The room smells like old popcorn and Lysol. 2 monitors buzz quietly. Time-stamped footage looping in silence. I pull out my notepad and check my entry. 2:08 a.m. Suspected tampering. Jerry scrolls back. One camera faces the back lot. angled just enough to catch the tail end of my sedan and a sliver of the dumpster. At 2:06 a.m., headlights pass in the distance. Then a figure enters the frame. Male, tall, hoodie pulled low. Derek. He walks to my trunk, glances around once, then opens it. The latch wasn't locked. I'd been distracted when I parked. My mistake. He rifles through my emergency bag, tugs open my pill organizer, pockets something, probably the memory meds I haven't taken in a year. Then he leans in closer, mutters something. Jerry grunts. Want sound? Yes. He rewinds and toggles audio. The motel's system records only in bursts. The first few seconds are static. Then the voice cuts through, low and arrogant. She'll forget by breakfast. That's enough for me. Timestamp. 2:08 a.m. I scanned back through my files. The APS report Derek submitted claimed I was found disoriented that same morning, disheveled, confused, likely skipping medications. Observation time on the forged report, 8:02 a.m. They fabricated the scene 6 hours after planting it. Premeditation in 1080p. Can I get a copy of that clip? I ask Jerry. He shrugs. Bring your own drive. I offer him the thumbstick Tom gave me. This one work? He inserts it, taps keys and transfers the file. Should play on any system. Timestamps embedded. You didn't get it from me. You didn't give it to me, I say. He smiles, a flash of teeth behind a gray beard. Don't like the look of him anyway. That's your boy? Son-in-law. Explains it. Outside, the wind's picked up. The neon sign stutters through the window, blinking like a failing heart. I clutch the thumb drive tight. This isn't just a forged document now. It's a full-blown setup caught on video. I have time, date, audio, and footage. I have motive, Derek's gambling losses, and method, his forged filings, and now I have proof of premeditation. I don't go back to my room. I head straight to Sue's office. We're done playing defense. By 6 sharp, I'm in Jesus' office, the thumb drive still warm in my pocket. It's a converted Victorian across from the old train depot, creaky floors, leaded windows, and the scent of old case files and lavender cleaner. She doesn't waste time with water or pleasantries, just gestures me in and locks the door behind us. Let's see what you've got, she says. I hand over the drive and the folder, printed fraud reports, equity loan forgery, betting records, and now the crown jewel, motel CCTV footage with Derek caught red-handed planting evidence. She plugs it into her laptop, watches in silence. When Derek's voice mutters, "She'll forget by breakfast," her brow lifts. When the timestamp appears, she exhales through her nose. Premeditated manipulation, fraudulent APS submission. That's enough to trigger an injunction. She's already opening forms, cursor flying. What about stopping the loan? I ask. Already filed the temporary restraining order on the equity transaction. This makes it bulletproof. Bank fraud claim and power of attorney revocation go in next. I nod, handing over the notarized deed and the digital banking records from Delgado. She glances through them, then freezes on the amended will. You're leaving the house to a veteran housing program? They'll value it more than my daughter. A pause. Not judgment, just recognition. Your call, she says. She scans the legal change, then attaches it to the estate file. You sure you want to testify? She asks, softening slightly. You'll be in court across from your daughter. I balanced bank ledgers during Reagan's budget cuts. I can handle a courtroom. She smiles. A sharp thing. Then I'll see you there. We run through the case file one last time. By the end, she's prepped the fraud suit, elder abuse petition, the TRO, and the affidavit for tomorrow's hearing. My psych eval appointment, time-stamped and admissible, is attached as counterweight against the guardianship claim. Rachel and Derek are walking into a buzzsaw, Shu says. You know that, right? I'm counting on it. She nods once. Take this. She hands me a sealed envelope. Your court packet. Walk it to the clerk at 8:45. If anyone tries to file ex parte before then, this will block it. I tuck the envelope inside my tote, right between the ledger and the pistol. On the way out, I pause at the door. Shu. Yeah? If anything happens to me before 9 a.m. tomorrow, it won't. But if it does, make sure the judge gets that footage. Don't let them win by default. You'll be there, she says firm. I will, I answer. But it's good to be overprepared. Outside, the wind's howling like it wants to pull roofs off. I clutch the tote tight and walk toward the motel like a woman with nothing left to lose and everything to protect. The sky is purple-black and churning by the time I hit my first stop, the church bulletin board across from the food pantry. I park close, flip up my hood, and tape the sheet dead center, Rachel's forged APS report side by side with my neuropsych evaluation appointment slip. On top, in clean block letters, know the signs of financial coercion. No threats, no names. Just enough to catch the eye of anyone who's heard whispers. Next, Danny's Market. The corkboard inside sits between the restroom and the ice machine. Prime foot traffic. I post the same pairing, this time above a flyer for lost kittens. A woman in scrubs reads over my shoulder. Damn shame when families pull that kind of thing, she mutters. I don't say a word, just nod once and walk out. Last stop, the Facebook group, Willow Heights Community Watch. I created an anonymous account 2 days ago. Margaret J. Not quiet. I upload a clean photo of both documents and add a caption. This is happening in our town. A widow nearly lost her home before someone asked questions. Know the signs. Protect the vulnerable. Not all abuse is visible. I hit post. 3 minutes later, it's shared 10 times. By 10 minutes, someone tags Jenna Cruz, the local TV reporter who covers bake sales and fraud busts, with the same ferocity. By the time I make it back to the motel, my phone pings with a DM at J. Cruz News. Available to comment? Tomorrow morning, I'll be live at the courthouse. I type back, happy to testify, I'll bring receipts. Then I log out. Let Derek and Rachel walk into a courtroom, thinking they've controlled the narrative. Let them find out it's already unraveled in every grocery line and parish meeting in a 5-mile radius. Let the truth spread like wildfire, faster than lawyers, deeper than shame. Tomorrow, I bring the match. The courthouse bricks glisten from last night's rain, and the air smells like metal and reckoning. I arrive early. Not to wait, there's no waiting anymore, but to stake ground. My boots click steady across the stone. I wear charcoal slacks, pressed, and the same pearl button coat I wore to Rachel's wedding. Fitting. A small crowd gathers. Faces I recognize. Neighbors, PTA veterans, former clients from the bank. They murmur, then quiet when the news van pulls up. Out steps Jenna Cruz, wind mic in one hand, sharp bob cut slicing through the breeze. Her cameraman waves for levels. We lock eyes. You're Miss Thompson? I am. Do you have the materials? I reach into my tote and pass her the thumb drive. No speeches, just evidence. She turns to the camera. We're live outside the Willow Heights courthouse, where a surprise guardianship hearing is drawing public attention. Allegations of elder fraud and document forgery are swirling around Derek Evans, local contractor and son-in-law of the alleged victim, Q. Derek. He strides up with swagger, phone in one hand, Rachel trailing behind, pale and hollow-eyed. He smirks for the camera. She's paranoid, he says. Senile. It's sad, really. We just want to make sure she's safe. Jenna lifts the mic. Mr. Evans, did you falsify elder abuse documentation for financial gain? His smile freezes. What? The documents you submitted, APS reports, bank authorizations, have been linked to forgery and unauthorized access. Your mother-in-law has provided footage, banking records, and signed testimony contradicting your claims. Care to comment? Derek turns to Rachel, hissing something sharp. She flinches. I step beside Jenna. Not loud, just clear. Mr. Evans, do you remember saying, she'll forget by breakfast? He goes pale. The camera stays rolling. Jenna doesn't blink. A bailiff steps out from the front doors. Guardianship hearing for Margaret Thompson now convening. Division B. I walk up the steps without looking back. Let him squirm for the cameras. Let the world see exactly what he tried to bury. Division B smells like air conditioning and tired law books. The kind of courtroom where people think paper cuts don't bleed. Judge Parker sits high behind the bench. White hair, square jaw, gavel untouched, but ready. He adjusts his glasses, taps his tablet once, and says, "Petitioner Evans, Respondent Thompson. This is a guardianship hearing. Let's begin." Derek steps forward first, posture rehearsed. He wears a navy suit and a look of over-practiced concern. "Your Honor, my mother-in-law has displayed increasingly erratic behavior." He opens with lies. "That I forget names, leave stoves burning, mistake the TV remote for a phone." His voice is soft, manipulative. He presents the forged APS report like it's gospel. Judge Parker nods, unreadable. Then Hichsu rises, crisp in black, and hands the clerk a flash drive and packet. "Defense has evidence to refute all submitted claims. May we?" "Proceed," Parker says. The video plays on the flat screen mounted to the side wall. Derek, hooded, rummaging my trunk. Audio crackling. "She'll forget by breakfast." Gasps ripple through the gallery. Parker watches without blinking. Then come the bank records. Fraudulent equity application, cash advances to a gambling app, metadata proving digital forgery from Derek's home network. The screen fills with timestamps, IP traces, digital logs. "Your Honor," she says, calm as a lit fuse, "this is not about protection. It's about premeditated financial abuse. Rachel won't meet my eyes. Furthermore," Hichsu continues, "Ms. Thompson has independently scheduled and undergone a court-admissible psychological evaluation, results pending, but preliminary findings support full cognitive competence." Judge Parker raises a hand. "I've seen enough." He removes his glasses. Petition for guardianship is denied. Filing appears not only unfounded, but malicious. Motion to refer petitioner for fraud and perjury granted. Derek stumbles back a step. In addition, all financial transactions tied to the respondent's estate are frozen until a civil fraud investigation concludes. "And Miss Thompson," he looks at me now, voice softer, "you are free to go." The bailiff calls the next case. But there isn't one. The gavel cracks. And just like that, they lose. 48 hours later, the sheriff's nails thunk into the doorframe like gunshots. Each one hammers reality deeper into the siding. This house is no longer yours. Metal against wood. Final. Official. Derek stands on the porch, barefoot, arms crossed, rage curdling into confusion. "This is a mistake," he says again, to no one who believes him. The neighbors line the sidewalk, silent, plastic lawn chairs, dogs on leashes, arms folded like judges. Furniture spills onto the lawn, his gaming chair, her elliptical, the decorative wedding portrait I paid for. It's all there in the wet grass, soaking up shame. I stand on the curb, in a clean raincoat. The sheriff nods to me once, eyes respectful. Behind him, Rachel stumbles forward, mascara streaked. Her voice cracks. "She paid every bill, every damn one. I didn't know. I didn't know he." She looks at me, begging for something she hasn't earned. "Mom, we tried to force you out." The crowd goes dead quiet. A ripple of disbelief, then something else. Applause, slow, uncomfortable, but real. The sound rolls across the block. Detective Morrison appears next, flanked by 2 deputies. He reads from a folder, monotone and practiced. "Derek Evans, you are under arrest for fraud, elder exploitation, and perjury. You have the right to remain." Derek bolts. 10 feet down the driveway, wet socks slipping on the concrete. Morrison doesn't run. He signals. One deputy steps forward, grabs Derek mid-sprint, takes him down clean. Cuffs snap like broken promises. Rachel doesn't move. Morrison walks him past me, face pressed to asphalt, wrist locked behind him. "You had options," I murmur. He snarls. "You're just an old... You gambled away your future the moment you underestimated mine." He's shoved into the cruiser. The sheriff posts the final notice on the door. Yellow tape. Stamped order. Eviction complete. Neighbors turn away. Some nod toward me. Some can't meet my eyes. Rachel stands alone, damp and shaking, surrounded by the wreckage of her choices. I don't speak. There's nothing left to say. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and let me know which city you're watching from. I'd love to see how far this story travels. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos. Rewrite the final words of the story a little bit so that the American viewer would want to comment, share their thoughts about the story, etc.